Hello, how's it going? Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Creatrix Conversations, your weekly download of all things mindset, marketing, and magic. Today the topic comes in direct response to a poll that I took in my Facebook group, Awaken the Goddess Within. And the number one thing that all of the women in that space voted on that they wanted to hear more about was spiritual tools for success. So I am happy to share what my top 5 spiritual tools for success are. And I'm really glad to be able to respond to things that people want to learn about and want to know more about. So if you're not in my goddess group, Awaken the Goddess Within, you can check out the link from my page here because we're going to, we have a lot of fun in that space and it's a beautiful sisterhood. So I have gathered my top 5 spiritual tools for success. But first I want to talk about this word, success, because it can be a triggering word, which is actually kind of funny to me, but it's because some people react to the word success thinking that when I say success, that I mean the same thing for you. Like there's only one version of success. And this is, of course, not true. And in fact, that's what I find beautiful about the word. Hi, Sue. It's that success means what it means for you. And that's really, really what it is. I'm sharing this out into my group here right now. No, when I say success, I mean what you consider success, right? And so that's the beautiful thing. These tools, I specifically chose these 5 tools. They will help you achieve your version of success, whatever it is. So it doesn't mean my version of success isn't going to be yours. And that's a really beautiful thing. I really think that is what's wonderful. Okay, thank you for bearing with me while I share this out and let's dive in. So number 5 is something called dreamboarding. So let me know in the comments, have you ever heard of dreamboarding? Have you made a dream board? Do you have a dream board? It's also called vision boarding. Vision boarding. So what this is, it's at its essence is a visual reminder of the dreams and goals that you desire to create and have in your life. That's all it is. So there's many different ways that you can make a dream board. I'm partial to the old-fashioned way of collage style where you literally cut out pictures from a magazine or find, you can download and print things from the internet. You can also write your goals on pieces of paper and put them on your dream board. That's the old school paper glue kind of way of doing it. Hi, Jody. Thanks for joining us. And we're just talking about the first spiritual tool, well, number 5 of dream boarding. Have you yourself made a dream board before? The thing is, nowadays, you can also do this totally digitally. You can make something in Canva, you can, whatever, Illustrator if you're more advanced, doing something. And the key though, how and why dreamboarding works is that we have that regular visual reminder. So I've got my dream board up on my office wall. It's a big cork board and it's Christy and I's shared dream board. We both have a side. It's the Vesica Pisces symbol, which is in our logo. We had this far before we had Strength and Soul. So it was foreshadowing, I suppose, with our business and our logo. So if you do something digitally, I only caution you to say, put it somewhere that you'll see it. Make it the wallpaper on your computer. Make it the lock screen on your phone. Put it somewhere that you will still see it regularly to remind yourself, yeah, this is what I'm going for. These are my dreams. These are my goals. So that's the first and the 5th spiritual tool for success, which is dream boarding. or vision boarding. Oh, thanks, Kelsey. And number four, ready for number four? Very important, mindset practices. Good, I'm glad you like doing it the old school way too, magazine cuttings. Thanks, Jody. So mindset practices, what do I mean by that? Well, I kind of put a bunch into this one only because I felt like there are a lot of different ways that you can work on mindset, and I was trying to keep the list short, right, to only 5, so I didn't have like 10. So what I consider mindset practices are meditation, visualizations, guided visualizations, affirmations, and EFT tapping. For me, those are the top 4 mindset practices that I engage in regularly. I'll say it again, meditations, visualizations, affirmations, and EFT tapping. So these are so important. Honestly, you need at least one of these going on. So I challenge you, if you are an expert meditator and you meditate every day, that's fantastic. Try one of the other ones. Try a guided visualization. I have lots on my SoundCloud account. Try affirmations. Try EFT tapping. Or if you've only done affirmations work, try one of the other ones, because when we pair them together, we continue to explore what works for us and really raising our mindset to one of infinite possibilities, to one of positivity, optimism, raising up what we believe is possible for ourselves, and calming our nervous system. That's a big part of it too, especially with meditation, but even EFT. We're calming our nervous system so that we can reduce our stress state and be open and in a more joyful state, that we can start to think more creatively. Because when we're stressed or worried all the time, we aren't thinking creatively. I just read a great quote. Worrying is praying for things that you don't want. So we don't want that, right? Yeah, Jody. Never done EFT tapping. Definitely investigate it. I'll come back and comment on this with some of my favorite links that I have a few people that I follow on YouTube. So that's the 4th spiritual tool, mindset practices. Okay, the third, number 3 of my top spiritual tools for success is, and this isn't going to come as a surprise to anyone that knows me, rituals. Now, the reason I believe rituals are so important is that they focalize our intention with a sense of sacredness. And they can really help us mark a moment in time in a very potent way that we can then always remember, no, there was before that ritual and after that ritual, especially when there's a big release or shedding or something that you're wanting to shift. If you do like a fire ritual where you're burning, or of release, a fire forgiveness ritual, then when we inevitably actually catch ourselves in the same, thought patterns, we can remind ourselves, no, I did that ritual, I burned it, it's over and done. And it helps us continue to anchor in the direction that we're going. So I have 2 ritual guides that I've created for my community. One is specific for spiritual entrepreneurs, business rituals, and the other ritual guide I've created not for entrepreneurs, that it's 4 rituals for each lunar phase. So let me know in the comments if you'd like the link to either of those ritual guides. Just say yes to ritual guide and I will come back and share those, because if you're feeling at all hesitant to get, or don't know where to get started with rituals, they are a great guide for then you to become more confident and for you to start creating your own rituals. So rituals are a hugely important spiritual tool for my success and for your success. And for anyone that's joining a little late, I want to remind that word success, that means your version of success. It's a very fluid and open word. So these are all tools that you can use for your success, whatever that looks like and means to you. Okay, moving on. Now we've gone 5, 4, 3, dreamboarding, mindset practices, and rituals. Number 2 is journaling. This also won't come as a surprise to anyone that's been hanging around me. I'm always talking about how important my journal practice is. I regularly share different journal prompts, writing prompts in my Awaken the Goddess Within group. Why I find this to be such a potent and powerful spiritual tool for success is that we are transforming our ideas onto the page. They become just that much more real. Right? When we have ideas or thoughts or hopes or dreams floating around our head, that's great. It's the first step often where we bring it down a little bit closer to reality. Some people could argue, well, when you speak about it, when you share it with someone, it's true. That's the same thing. For me, I love to write though. And so if you feel like you love the process of writing, for me, journaling is like, I'm connecting with my higher self. I'm asking for my own inner wisdom. And then when I write, I'm opening the channel for my own inner wisdom to come out onto the pages. And so I recently did a Sacred Success journaling workshop back in May, and I shared 5 different kinds of journal writing practices that you can do. So that's the other thing. There isn't just one way of journaling. So if you've tried journaling and it hasn't stuck, or you felt like your practice got stale, you probably just need to switch it up and try a different kind of journaling. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be running that Sacred Success journaling workshop again later in the year. So if that's something that piques your interest, you can keep an eye out for that, because there isn't just one way that we can do it. But journal, write it down. Write your big, beautiful ideas down and watch as they start to unfold, because that's the first step in trying to make something happen. Okay. And finally, the first spiritual tool for success that I believe is the number one most important thing is sisterhood and sister circles. Now, if we were going to take away the spiritual tools for success, I would still say that this is the number one most important thing for your success, is to have some kind of support network around you. A small group of people, usually a smaller group of people who know you, love you unconditionally, and support you, see you, all of that. And for us as spiritual women or spiritual entrepreneurs, this is so important that we have a sisterhood of women around us who are reflecting our highest potential back to us. Because I always say this, we are sacred mirrors for each other. So who we choose to let in and to spend time with, it really, really matters. Because yes, Sue, sister support, it's so important. And when we engage in intentional sisterhood with spiritually conscious women, then that's what we have reflected back to us, right? So I want to ask you, do you have a strong circle of women around you? And if you don't, I'm inviting you to mine. So I'm going to drop the link in there. You can check out this event. I have a really special circle coming up this Friday, July 13th, Day of the Goddess. So I want you to check that out. But even if you don't, I want you to really take this to heart as my number one spiritual tool for success. And I want to read you something from the amazing book, Rise, Sister, Rise. If you haven't read this, by Rebecca Campbell, it's a fantastic read. And honestly, last night as I was thinking about sharing this, I thought, Rebecca already wrote it perfectly. So I'm just going to read these few passages here. For ages, women have been gathering in circles to heal their wounds, share their stories, pass down the mysteries of womanhood, and support and empower one another. From ancient caves to coffee shops, moonlit dancing to WhatsApp group texts, stone circles to workshops. For longer than any of us can fathom, women have been tapping into the mystical power that is activated when women circle. Sharing stories, holding space, and a passing down of wisdom, there is nothing more healing than being in a group of honest sisters that truly see and accept you. In a period of history where we live more separately than ever, the ritual of coming together is one that we must not underestimate. In my experience, it is something that all women crave, but most aren't aware of. And when we get a taste of it, we wonder how we ever survived without it. And when I read those words, she was speaking for me. This too has been my experience, that sister circles have been pivotal in my spiritual growth and also now in the last few years in my professional growth. So I truly encourage you to join a women's circle in your community, to start a women's circle in your community, or to join a virtual sisterhood, whether it's my Moon Magic Sisterhood or it's another space. It's all wonderful because we as women are cyclic beings and we need that regular touchstone or like an anchor in our life to be held accountable in the best possible way to our magical practices, to our spiritual path. And when we tell a group of women, hey, I've got this idea and this is what I want to do, then, like I said, we are held accountable in the best possible way for what we are trying to create and who we are wanting to become. So I warmly invite you to check out my 13th Moon event, which is happening this Friday as part of the Moon Magic Sisterhood. And if there's any spiritual tool that you think I've missed, I'd love to hear that in the comments. And if you've been inspired by this broadcast, please hit share. Share this with your friends. I really have been loving doing these weekly Creatrix Conversations. And I want more women to tune in. And yeah, I would love to hear if your experiences or your opinion or some of your preferences with spiritual tools for success. And like I said, I hope to see you this Friday in Circle if you can make it. Love to welcome you into the Moon Magic Sisterhood. I would also love to hear it if you choose to start a women's circle or anything like that. I am here to support and to cheer you on. So thanks again. Have a beautiful day. And I will be back next Tuesday at 10 with another broadcast of Creatrix Conversations. Thanks so much. Bye for now.